underscore fact. So this is our fact, and we are going to use this fact sector to create everything. So how do we start building up our, and always remember to save your work. So the first thing is open a new worksheet. And then if I want to start doing my analysis, let's say I've already done my, I've checked my data, I've done my, I've created maybe the data set into a point that I need. You just come here to data, and then you come here from text to file or get data. So you can get data using different formats. You can get them in workbooks, you can get them in CSV. So here you don't need to do any formatting in case you want to pull from a CSV. It's important to pull it from a CSV if you are getting it from a database, and maybe that database has a lot of data sets. You see, for Excel, it cannot pull data beyond almost, I think, 1.5 million data set. Is it 1.5 million or let's see? Yeah, 1.5 million. It cannot add more data. That is Excel. This is Excel. But CSV can carry up to even the number of data set that you need. Even if it's beyond that, it will still continue having the data. And now that is where the advantage of Power Query comes in Excel. So we can use Power Query to now query on the data, and then now once you have done querying the data and maybe removing any kind of errors that are there, we can now again pull it back to Excel and then now develop using Power Pivot to develop maybe our dashboard. And then an advantage with Power Query is that you can update, and also you can continue refreshing on the data, and then it will just be pulling out. So it's good for automation. And then also another thing is that when you are doing your work on Power Query and Power Pivot, at least like Excel, you'll find that maybe it's carrying a huge space. But now when using Power Query and Power Pivot, you'll find that maybe you are using less space, and then also it helps in avoiding in lagging of maybe your data set. So number one, this data is in Excel. So we will start with the fact table, which is in Excel format. So there are also databases that you can pull your data from. So all these ones can help you like pull the data. So we are working with Excel. So you just click on Excel, and then it will take you to where you want to pull your data. So my data is it's there and it's here. So I just double click on it. So it will just pull as normal, like the same way we do it in Power BI is the same queries. It will just show the same thing as we do in Power BI. So like here, I only have uh, one file. Sometimes you'll find that maybe it has a lot of file, and you want to query the entire file. So you just click on the file if you want to query the entire file. But for me, I'm interested in the finance fact. So I just click on it. You can preview your data set here, the way it is and the way it's arranged. So that is how it is. So you can decide to load or load and transform. So we want to transform the data set. So it will open for you the normal query sheet. So like here, you'll find that it's a good thing that it has already shown me it has used the first row as a header. So sometimes you'll find that some data will not use the first row as a header, and then also you'll find that maybe there are unwanted data here. So in case it's not, the first row is not shown as a header, you'll just click on use first row as a header, and then it will just transform it to the header. And then maybe you want to remove, let's say, some few columns. I think there are columns. So you can just go and remove row. Let's say you want to remove some rows. You can say maybe remove top rows. And then let's say you want to remove two rows. So it will remove this one and this one. So when you click OK, you'll find that it has removed the two. And when you come back, you'll find Canada. So it means our data, after removing the top rows, it will start from France. And this is France from row number 3. So it's very important because I had cleaned this data on Excel. So I don't need to do a lot of cleaning on this other part. But most of the time, you'll find that if the data has not been cleaned, that you are able to clean it yourself. Okay, so because I don't want to effect that changes, I click on, you just click this X for you to like remove the some of the changes that have been done. So I've already set up my Power Query. So most of the things, when I load my data, it just like brings the data in to the data set with some already done pre-populated steps. So from this point, I will have to go through my data set to check if everything is okay. So most of the time, it's good to check if there are any blanks. Like this one, I don't see any blanks on the country. I don't see any nulls and blank. So this one is, some have discount, some does not have discount. Units sold, you look at the units sold. So this one, when you see like this one is in the data, the type of the data type has already been populated. So it means like this one is in a decimal, this one is a whole number. So it means that this one is okay. Most of the time, like as much as it has created it in the acceptable data type, it's okay. You just look at it on the upper side here to check if there are any issues. Like this one here, it's giving us data type. It's not sure of the data type that is here. So this one is supposed to be decimal, but now it's giving us, you can see here, it's giving us it's not sure whether it's a decimal or a text file. So that one we need to look at it and correct. So I can remove that step. So, and sometimes it's good to go back to the original data to check if there is anything that needs to be corrected. So these other ones are okay, except for profit also, you can see. It's not sure whether it's a decimal or a whole number. So even if we try to change it to decimal, you'll find that there is some error. You can see this red one here. You can check for that error, where the error is. So when it tells you list may not be complete, you need to load the so and this may be the one that is bringing giving us those errors. So those are some of the things that we need to come and standardize. Okay, so the date time is okay. We don't have an issue on the dates. We don't have an issue on the month.
No, excuse also
Yes.
for the profit because it's money.
Mm.
Try to you. It is recommendable you choose the currency as the data type. So to have two decimal places.
Okay, so let's try that. So let's just finish going through the data set and then we can do that. Okay, so we are on the year. The year is giving us because it's giving us a complete year, the year. So it just gives us the year as it is. So let's see. For you said on the profit we do what? But if we change it to currency, it's still giving us there's this error here. So you can go to view. There's a 1%, there's an error, and it's caused by this one here. Let's see the detail. We could not convert to number. What is it? Oh, it's a dash. You see this dash? This is what is like causing the error. So this needs to be transformed and changed. So I will remove that, and then come back to the profit. Here, and then I will click on the entire column and then go back to transform. So this is like an audit section of the Power Query in case maybe you want to see details on your data. So here we have 5 errors. You can see down here. You can just click on the view section. When you come to column here, you can click and then you are able to see the counts are 700 and then the errors are 5. So it means we have 5 errors on that specific column. Here, their count is 700, errors are 0, empty 0. So it means it's okay. So we don't need to check on maybe to correct any error at that point. So here, everything is working well. Everything is. Yes.
Let me ask something.
Mm.
Now you haven't imported this thing now into Excel.
No, I'm on the Power Query side before importing it and loading.
Now
Back to
those
Excel.
errors that you are saying that it's showing. Now how do you correct them? Do you delete the records or?
No, because you see the most part like here, you see it's everything is intact. There's no error. There's no missing data on the first parts like here, and you'll find that maybe apart from the profit, where is the profit part? Apart from this one, like cost of good is okay. It does not have any error. So the best thing, like here, what I did was check on the error. Where is it? Here. So this is the error, a dash. This one here. When you click, you see this is the error, right? So and because we don't know what issue it has, the best thing is to change that dash to a 0. Because 0 does not like so that that is the best thing that you can do. Or if it's a data that has been given maybe by a client, the client will direct once maybe you identify such issues on the data. They can decide that you delete it. But now for this one, so that we don't like, because even if you look at this data set, it only has 700 entries. So the best thing that I can do at this point is to change this the dashes to
zeros
for now, or
okay
NA, something at least, so that we don't, as long as it helps us in making sure that we reduce on the error that we have, this 1% to disappear and get 100.
so it won't import that everything is like at 0% kila mahali.
It depends. Like it will import as per the format that is there in the Excel. So some formats you find that you remember last week we had to remove those dollar signs.
Yeah.
In Excel.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
if you import it in as raw data as that, it was like in here in Power Query, you could like see all those errors, like almost 100%, because mostly these decimals and whole numbers, you could see those errors just appearing until you removed you remove the dollar signs. Now using the Power
So
Query.
in other words, if I'm importing through Power Query, I clean first, then I import the data. That is what you're saying?
You can, it depends with the size of data. Like this data is very small, you can decide to work on it in Excel and then now import it. Okay?
Oh.
But now if it's a very huge data set and then maybe you want to automate it, you know, where the problem comes from is when you want to automate. You see, in case maybe this data set increases with another 1,400 or 2,000, you'll have to do it manually in Excel, clean, and then import.
Okay.
Okay, but in case maybe you just import it in its raw format, and then the data continues updating, and you maybe did all the cleaning in Power Query, it means once the data like updates in Excel, you just come to Power Query here and click your refresh. It's just a button. You just click refresh and then it refreshes and then it carries everything, like all the steps that you had done before, it will just update them. And then if you have built a dashboard, it's just a click. You click there and then you go and refresh it in Excel and then refresh it in Power Pivot, and then it just refreshes your dashboard once. Like at
So
5
in other words, I can use Power Query instead of cleaning in Excel. I just upload the CSV file kwa Power Query and do the cleaning there once and for all.
Yes, once and for all. So that when you update your data, you just click refresh button.
Oh.
Not unless maybe it brings other maybe data related issue. That is when maybe you'll just come. And then now once you do your refreshing, you just come to view. Most of the time you'll find that it's like this. So you can just click this one to just do your first audit, and then you can audit the other like this, so that you understand how many, like you see in Excel, we use the count. Count is equals, and then you copy everything. Here you don't need it, it's just buttons. You just click the button, it tells you how many data sets are in your data, how many, like let's say
records are
there without using any formula. Okay, it's as easy. And then also you can see this distribution. How you see, like when you are working with Python, is it Python? You have to do there's this thing when you are doing your
EDA.
Yeah, there's that Kanini you run, and then it brings you a graph like this one. So here you just click a button, it just tells you if it's a data set, like numerical data set, it just gives you the distribution. You see our like this one is it's supposed to have the same, but it's not giving us. Why? Because it's not able to interpret it correctly.
The dashes. Oh.
Yes.
Right. Sasa, thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Alafu this data set is that financial data set that you were doing it last week.
Yeah.
Okay, Sasa.
Okay. So like here, you will come back to home. So you need to understand the ribbon here so that you are able to, you don't get lost. So you come home and then you click replace value. So what are we finding? A dash, and then we are replacing it with, now it's telling us numerical values. Now,
try using quotation marks.
oh. Let's see. No, it's not working. Let me reduce these things. At least we know what we want to do.
Because on the profit we have that data type as currency. Is that true?
Yes, we can remove them because I tried decimal, but it's still giving us the same problem of this.
Can you check for another option that brings like it is a test?
Sorry, that brings what?
Data type is not a number or a currency.
Oh, we can change it first to text and then transform it from there, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's try that. Where were we?
Forwarded. I think it is on the far end.
Also, we have the same issue on discount. Yeah, profit. This one here. So we change it to text. Okay. And then let's see. Replace. Oh, with 0.
Yes.
And then now change it back to decimal. Yeah.
Yes.
That one is working. So I believe we've seen that. Now it's giving us, and when we go to our audit, you can see the profit is giving us now the correct value, 700. And now it's giving us that graph, as we can see there. So it means we have changed that. So there is also another one on, so we leave months the way it is. Years the way it is. COGS is okay. Discount here, we need to remove the dashes also in the discount side because let's see how much is affected. It's 100. Let's change it to, let's say, decimal first so that we see. Oh, it's working. Well, it's not. So let's just remove that error. This one. So we can change it to text.
Please.
Sorry.
Continue.
So let's change it to text first. And then we go to replace dash with 0. And then we can now change it to decimal. So there are different ways we can do that. We can right click, that is right click, and then change the date type to decimal number like that. Once we change, we can check our data set. Now that one seems okay. So let's do another round of audit there. Now most of them are okay. I don't think there's anything that is missing on this. Okay, everything is okay. Now, once you are confident with your data, what you do, you just load and You go back home, you click, you can either close and load or close. You can, like, there's that close and load, it will just bring it in your front end in Excel like that, and it will create tables for you automatically like that. So mostly this data is very clean and it's very good, and it's telling you the number of rows that are there. In case maybe you want to go back to your data set, you just double click there and it will take you back to Power Query. You can see that one was 700, and let's say maybe your data keeps on changing. Let's do something here and let me show you. Let me just copy this again. This is my original. This is my original data set. So, and I want to add it just down below here from 700 like that. So that's another data that I've already added. Let's say you've updated your data set. We have 900 and something. Let me do another round and another one like that for it to be at least something huge. So when you when you look at that and when you come here, you'll see your data is still it still has 700. Let's try something. Mostly when it comes to Power Query, you work most of your workings on the data side. So there's this refresh button. You can decide to click it and see. You'll not see anything because you've not updated, and then you need to always save your data once you've updated your data set. Let's refresh. Once you refresh, there's nothing I've done. I've not gone to my data set or done anything, but it has just updated my data set like that on the final product. From here, it has just taken my data to the Power Query, and then once I clicked the refresh button, it just updated my final working. In case maybe I want to go back to Power Query, you see there's this query connection. Once you click it, it will show you how many data sets are there that you added. There's this button here. You can also click refresh, and it will always refresh your data as needed. When you double click, you'll find that it has run everything into Power Query. It will start from like importing the data afresh, like doing almost everything afresh until the last step that you had done in the Power Query. So once it does that, it brings for you the data to the front end. Okay. So up to that point, is there anyone with a question? I now delete whatever I've added. As much as data cleaning and data importation in Power Query is concerned, is there anyone with a question? We had 700, so I want to delete whatever I've added. Not here. So don't delete it from this imported one from Power Query. Even if you delete and you refresh again, it will just bring it. There's nothing that you'll have done. So to permanently remove it, you just go to your original data set and then delete it from there. Once you delete, you save your data, and then you refresh, and it will just give you once I delete like that, and then I come here and just click refresh, it will delete everything and then give me my original data as it was. Okay. Up to that point, any question? Okay, Onesimus, do you have anything to add on that part of Power Query?
For now, no, but from what our boy asked, it is always important to be careful on the steps that you are on the training practice that you are performing in your data, because that will always repeat itself whenever you update your data and refresh. So on the cleaning, on the changes that you make, like the way we did for the profit and the discount column, it is important to be sure of it, because let me assume the space that we earned, it was a decimal place. Yeah? We would because we changed it to 0, maybe it will earn the amount in profit, and that will always happen each and every time we do it. So it is always good to be certain in what you are in the changes that you are making on the Power Query, because that change will be replicated on every refresh that we do. Then I think is that for now. As we continue, I'll keep on Andy as we go deep.
Okay, so thank you, Onesimus. So now there are those other dimension data sets that maybe we may want to use as we continue in the with our analysis. I'll just bring them on board so that we can work with them. So those ones I'll just update them, like this one, discount. We just use the same procedure and make sure that they are correct data types. So those ones are correct. Discount brand, let's use ID there. And then you just close and load. Just need them for further analysis. So I have products. Also, these ones are, you can see the data sets are small, so you don't need to look at them like that much because everything is more clear. We have country. Segment. Now, the last part that we've not that I was talking about as we were starting is the date dimension. So I've not known. Just a minute. There's someone at my door. Okay, so once you are done with that, I was saying like for date dimension, if you want, there's a name code that you can use to make sure this is a code. I usually use it mostly when I need to do analysis that is concerned with the dates, because this one gives me like it's somehow dynamic when it comes to like performing the analysis. So this one is like the dates are usually primary keys for me. So it becomes easier for me to like work on the analysis. So what you do, you just build it from the query side here. You come and right click, and then on the new query, you do an empty one, an empty blank other sources. You come to blank query like that. Once you come to the blank query, you come to advanced. It will open for you the M code. Because I already have this code, what I do, I just copy it. The contents are a little bit long to explain. Mostly usually build the first part of the code. And once you build the first part, the others, you just build them using the steps on the other side. I'll show you how it, all these ones have the same M code query, so you can just copy and like do them. This is when maybe you want to do it programmatically. So because we had 2 years, that is 2013 and 2013 and 2014. So what I do, I just change my dates here. Even if maybe we have 2000 to 2020, we just change your dates up here. The rest, they just flow. So I said we need 2012 and 2015. So I just change my dates up there, depending on the data that I have and the dates that I have. Once you are done, you just click done. Once the syntax is okay here, you just click done, and it will load. Let's see where the issue is.
This M code, where did you
I usually use it.
get it? Did you come up with it?
No, there's a training I was doing, and then I saw it. So
What does it do exactly?
it builds a dimension for dates.
What
Like
do you mean a dimension?
Like you see, we have the fact table, which let's say tomorrow you add your data, it will add data for tomorrow. If you have another data, maybe like there's a fact table that adds daily, and then there's a dimension table that guides you. Like specifically, like these ones are like specific; they don't change. But the fact one will always change from one time to another. And when we were working on the lookup function, you could see we were using the dimensions to look up for on the fact table what exactly we need to look up for. Yeah, so because mostly when we are building our models, you'll find that you are using the dimension to look up on the fact. Even if you are building those, we are connecting maybe from one table to another, one table to another. And most of the time, even if you are trying to build, let's say dashboard, it's good to use the dimension ones to like do the filters compared to when you are using the ones on the fact side.
So it's like another table that has dates only. Ama mi ndo sishiki. Hello. Waswa.
Yes.
I'm asking. This is it going to make another table, Ama? It's going to affect the tables that you already have.
For the code.
Yeah, for the M code.
Sorry, I lost. Okay, so Onesimus, you can continue. Let me see what the error is in this one. You can
I think the error is what's what?
Yeah.
The error is that the month you have that one which is should be 12, then that one, then 12, right?
Inapick inaitwaje?
Correct.
The local.
Yes.
That thing can really make you think in 360 vice versa and going forward and back. Okay, here it is.
Oboy and a question. Whether the con create another table, which I was trying to answer that. Yes, it is like you're creating another table, but you choose whether you create a table or you create a connection. You can try to emphasize that so that you can try to send more light on that.
Oh, so you see, you can decide to create a connection. Creating a connection, you click close load, and then you use connection here. But I'm avoiding to do that because I want to use the same data. Yeah, it has created connection only. I hope it will give me an option to. Oh yeah. The reason, like maybe if I'm only doing the analysis without maybe wanting to, and I will use only like these ones here to build maybe. I'll use these ones to build maybe what do you call pivot tables? Is it pivot tables without using power pivot? I think that is that one is going to be okay. But now I want to build using the power pivot so that I can have more flexibility. So you can just build using connection only, or you can decide to like to load it on the like load it directly on Excel, which it will open another worksheet. Okay. I've never tried building Power Pivot using connection only. That's why I don't want to try it here. Maybe I try it later without when I'm not training, and then maybe there. That is when I'll be able to advise. Not unless you've tried it on Esmas, you can maybe advise us if you can use the same while building Power Pivot.
I guess I haven't tried, but normally, or the essence of having connection only is only if you want to perform your operation on Power Query. Maybe if you want, in the case that you want to create a dashboard with the tables that you created, you can't be in a position to do that on Power Query. You are creating a dashboard referencing from the Power Query. So normally creating connection applies when you only need to have a final result, maybe a one table, and the operation will be done only on Power Query. But I'll try. I also try using. I'll try creating Power Pivot on Power Query so that I can experience it. Maybe another day we send light on it and state that it happens or it can't happen.
Yeah, so maybe we try that later out of when maybe we are during the trial and error and see if it's possible. But now because I want to build a Power Pivot, I will Just a minute. It's giving me 2012. So you can check on the years if they are okay between 2012 and 2014. You can load to see it's going to 2015. So let's do date. Dim. The reason why I'm putting dim so that when you are working on it, it becomes easy for you to understand like this is a dimension and that is fact when you are connecting your tables. So I'll just load and close. And here is our date dimension now, the one that we needed. So from our fact table, so now, once you are done with your first part of doing your analysis. So I'll just close this one. I don't need it. So you just hide it from your front end so that in case maybe someone needs it, or maybe if you have that data, you can decide to come and check if there's something hidden. You can click and hide and you'll be able to see everything that has been hidden. So most of these things, we are going to hide them later, but not now. So we are done with Power Query. So I think as much as Power Query is concerned for these sessions, that is what we can show and the power that Power Query can give. You'll find that we only had one table, but from that one table, depending on our agenda on the data set, we've decided to create several now this one I've missed it. So we've decided to create different dimensions table so that the advantage of it, you'll see it when we are building the dashboards. But here you'll see maybe we are creating a lot of data sets that maybe you don't understand what to use. Now, if you want to go back to the query, you can just come to data and then query connection, and you'll be able to see everything here. Like our first one here is still showing us it's still showing us 1,470. Let's see what is happening with it. Oh, it's still counting. Like here, you see these ones here. It's still counting these empties. So this one is going to give us a lot of issues when we are trying to do our analysis, because you can see that empty. That one is going to be a problem. So what we can do, we can filter out the null on this first segment. Because the first segment was okay, we can remove the null from the query side so that it does not show on the front end of our data. So we can close and load. So anytime that first row has a null, it's going to show nothing. Okay, so you can see it has corrected it. We'll work with that, and that one is okay up to that point. So save that data set and make sure that everything else is working correctly. The date dimension is showing us 1,450 because it's showing us day by day. There are, let's say, 1st January 2012 to 31st December 2015. So that one, the dates are not double. And the reason why I would advise you to use this dimension for date is because at least you know there is no duplicates on it. The problem of using the one that maybe you are getting it from your data set like this one here, you don't know even if there's duplicates on that data set or not. And thereby it means you are going to be worked up or concentrate mostly on just concentrating on this data set in maybe manipulating it, looking for duplicates, doing a lot of rounds of maybe cleanup. But now with this one, I'm very sure, even if I want to run between 2000 and maybe 20, we can just do that example here, though it's going to give us a lot of data set. Let's say I want to run from 2000, the year 2000 to 2015. And then once you click done, it will just load only like that. And I can come here to the years and check the years that are there. You see, it's as dynamic as that. Very easy, very simple to use. As long as you have that, as long as you have this code, you can manipulate it the way you want. You can move your years the way you want. You can like minimize your years the way you want. And at the end of the day, the only thing that you deal with is to change that years there. So it's just as easy as just clicking the button. Once you update, it just updates your data in full. So that one we are done. So the first thing when you are coming to now, we have finished the Power Query. We now move to Power Pivot. So in the Power Pivot, it's very easy also to use, as much as maybe as long as you know how to use Power BI, you can use Power Pivot. And if you know how to use Power Pivot and Power Query, you know how to use Power BI, because most of them they are interrelated in some way. So I no longer need the queries connection here. So I just close it. And then now I create my last, let's say I'll call this dashboard. You can now start building your dashboard. Most of the time you come to insert, and then now you build the shapes that you need. You remember the way we were building the ones on with Excel, with Explore AI, you can decide to build them like that. And then most of the time, try to minimize the white spaces as possible, or try to make sure that there's that consistency in your data. But now, before I go to the dashboard, I now need to import this data into Power Pivot. So what you do, you just click Power Pivot and then click inside your data set like that, anywhere in your data set, and then click Add to Model. Once you click Add to Model, it will just load like that, and then it will give you. So this is our this is our main fact table. So the others are just coming in as connectors or connections to this data set. And most of these things, you are not going to see them on the front end. On the fact table, you'll be seeing very few things or even none. But most of the things that you'll see from on the front end when you are building your models is what you need when building the model. Okay. So once you are done with that, just save your data and then load the others. I will start loading up. I hope it does not give me a hard time. It's jumping. Okay. Yeah. So once that one has been loaded, you can close it. Now let me bring in my date dimension. You just click on the dimension that you need. Let me move the date to the second part because that is what I need so that I don't get confused. So you click Add to the model. Once you click Add to the model, it will just load. Once it loads, it will give you the date dimension. Let's say I want to link this date to the fact table. So where is my primary key? The primary key is the dates, because that is what I want to use to link to the date to the fact table using dates. This date also, because this one and this one are equal. Hope there's no variance. So I'll pick my date on the on the date dimension and drop it on the date here. Once you drop, it creates a one-to-many relationship, and that is why I created the dimension, the date dimension for myself. Because on the date dimension, I have the years, quarters, months, weeks, quarter ID, month ID, week ID, month name, and I can continue with anything that I want. Even I can go with hours, years, anything that I need to create using the date dimension, as long as it's a date. And now maybe when you are creating, when you are building a time frame on your data set, it becomes as dynamic as possible. You can move any direction that you need, as long as you need to bring a story to your data set. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I can go back there and bring the rest. So I'll bring product, dim product. You now take this product. This is what I need to add to the product because they are related. So the ID here, leave it alone because that one is just, I needed it to, so you use the product as your primary key because it has the product on this side. So once you've created that, let's go back here, country dimension, add to the model. You take country, it goes with country. Let's go back, segment, add. So segment goes with segment. And then go to discount. Discount will go to discount. Now I'm done. Once I'm done, you just go back to data view of your data. So there's this diagram view and data view. So just go back to data view. And then anything that is here and you don't need it in the front end on the fact table, remove it. Like this segment, I already have the segment. Okay, let me try something. Let me try to build a pivot table. Okay. And I need this pivot table on the existing worksheet, and I have already created pivot dash here. Once you create that, you'll see everything is here. Now this is what you can use to build your dashboard. Let's say I need the years from the date dimension table. I need the years to know the years that I have. I have 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. And then what I need from the fact table, maybe I need to know the sell price, not sell price, gross sales of my data. So I only have 2013. You see it has filtered out 2012 and 2015 because I don't have it in my data set. And then once you check, you can see there are a lot of, we have a lot of, we have a lot of formatting that needs to be done. So that one, even if you check here, not unless you come here and now start clicking that, but every time that you do your analysis, you'll have to come back and do that. So which means it's not going to be that pleasant at all because you are going to repeat and you want to automate your work as much as possible. Okay. So just a minute. Okay, so as I was saying, the reason why we have these tools here is because we want to automate our work and make our work very easy and ensure that maybe we don't repeat the same thing each and every time. So number one, we've already created a dimension for this for the segment, and I don't want to see it in the front end because let's say when I come back to the dimension here, and then I want to go to the fact here, I'm able to see everything that I've also created dimensions for. So I don't want to see most of them on the client side here, on the front end. So you can just hide them on the back end so that the only person who can see is you who is working on the back end. So what you need to do is to come and right click. Okay? You just right click here and then you'll come and see hide from client tool. You hide that. Let's hide most of them. So it will gray out like that. And in case you want them back, you can just come and unhide. Just come and right click again. It's just the same way we've done with hiding some of these. Most of these we are going to hide and remain maybe with the dashboard. Okay, so you can just let me hide most of them and remain with the ones that we feel like we need them. So we are going to hide the date because we've already created the date dimension. We no longer need these ones, the ones that were worked on. We hide them from the client tool. So once you hide them like that, the only thing that you are going to remain with is the unit sold, manufacturing price, sales price, gross sales, discount, and then we have, what is this? And then we have cost of sales and then the profits. So let's go back to the front end and check. When you come here to the fact again and check, you see the list has disappeared. We are only remaining with the numeric values that for now we need them. As we go, we are going to drop some of them so that we have enough space here. So once you are done with that, you can decide now, we can now decide to work on some of the calculation. As we said, Power Query or in Excel, you can also still use DAX formulas to work on your data. I will work on the ones that I already know and leave out the ones that I'm not sure about. Because once you know how to work on DAX in Power BI, those Power BI gurus, I think you can help us on that. But the only difference between now Power BI DAX and the Excel DAX is one thing. Anything else is almost the same. But in this one, you have to click equals and then use a column like that before you can do anything. Let's say you want to do some. Let's say sum of gross sales, cost of goods sold. This one. You can. Let's see. Yeah. So sum of COGS. So it's a column and then equals and then the function that you want to work on. And when you see down here, you'll be able to see them here. So most of the time you work on them here, and then now you do your formatting on this backend here so that it just sticks. So once you do maybe like some of these, you can now decide to come and hide the cost of goods from the client side and then remain with this one on the front end here. Like fact, you'll be able to see your function, the workings here. So you don't need the COGS anymore. You can hide it from the front end so that you work on the cost of goods. like this one here. So we can try that and bring this one in, and you see it comes with the formats already there with them. So what I can do is maybe remove this, and then maybe now bring it. You can even decide to do it on this part, whereby you insert pivot table, and then use no. Let me go back to Power Query and bring it from there. So you can come to do the formatting from here. You can do those formatting here like that. Once you are done, or let's remove first so that I show you how it works and how to automate them. Hope I'm not hanging. So you come and create pivot table into an existing table like that. And then you come to your dash and then bring it on board. Okay, once you click OK, you can now, let's say we want to work with the dates and the years. Let's still work with the years. And then you come to fact, and then we bring the cogs. When you bring it, it does not have any formatting. Let's go back to our, and do our formatting here. You just come and add the format. Once you add it and go back to your front end, it will just update it. So anytime you want, maybe you see it's not updating, you just come and click refresh here. It will give you that refresh, and then you close. Once it finishes, once it gives you the green lights like that, it will just update. Mostly in Power Pivot, it will take some time, and then come here, and then also run another refresh on the data side like that. Do we have any question from anyone up to that point? We handle that. Or we are able to understand? Okay, noted. So that is one way. So we just quickly continue. Let me remove that first. I like it. I like working on it while it's in the center here compared to the other part, the other end. So let's say we want to build our model in different ways. So let's say we want to know the number of units sold. We can decide to say sales or manufacturing. Cost. Can decide to start with that, which is equals is it some product? Some product. This one does not have some product. I think we had calculated the manufacturing price somewhere. Just a minute, I check on the data, the original data set. Now, this is where now we need to work on the formulas and ensure that we are able to like get it the way it's supposed to be. So, or even we can add some we can decide to add a column here for manufacturing costs, of which I don't know that formula that we use to calculate. That is why I want to just do it directly. So it's units sold is equals to units sold multiplied by price. And it will just calculate for us here. What I'm interested in is the so these are some of the things that you can do on Power Pivot, but now it sticks on Power Pivot without going back to your Excel. So these are modifications that you can do so that maybe you come and find the manufacturing cost. So manufacturing cost. Or price. Let's use price is equals to sum of our manufacturing costs, this one here, okay, that measure already. Manufacturing so let's deal with that like that, and then you can expound this one. In case I disappear, you can just notify me because maybe so that I don't talk alone. So that one you can now start working on those formats, so that at least you format your work like that. So we can go to another one is sales. Equals to sum. There's a formula that you can just do it directly, maybe sum cost and price directly, and then you can, I don't know even if it's calculate or what, something like that. But let me just use the normal ones that I am more conversant with. So that is sales. This one here, which is sales price multiplied by units sold. So multiply by sales.
Also, apologies. I'm leaving the meeting.
Okay.
Yes, I think I'm supposed to do something now.
Okay, noted. Let me just finish up on the power pivot, and then I think we can call it a day.
Yes.
And build at least some few, show how to build some few pivot table, and then you can call it a day, at least for that. The others are just the same. As long as you know how to build the pivot table, the others are just okay.
Okay. Hope is recording.
Okay, so this one, maybe we can decide to build cogs. Is equals to sum of cogs let me just use the word one because I'm repeating the same thing. And then formatting is always okay, good. And then let's say I want to build net profit. Sum of net profit. I have my profit here. Profit. Once we are done like that, now you can build the same. Okay, there's an error. This one. So there's a string here that did not disappear. Okay, let me just work with this one first. The ones that we already have. Once you work on that, you can now pull your pivot table because of also time. So most of the time you need to make sure that your data type is okay. Like you've gone through it, because like that one you are supposed to go and check where the issue is, or even we can build another one here. profit. So our net profit is going to be our sales less manufacturing cost less the discount. So is equals to this sales you less manufacturing cost less our discount, and then you click enter and it will just populate. You let it populate and then we create our net profit here. Is equals to sum of net profit. Let's see if this one works. It has worked. So you create a comma on it and it will give us our net profit. So we already have the sales, cost of sales. So we can decide to build a model for financials, financial statements. So what do I need to do? I just need to come to pivot table. Save your work first. And then you go to existing. Let's go to dash. In the dash, let me build it here. You click OK and OK. So I can decide to come and build maybe my financial statements. So the first thing we start with sales. So for this one here, we can decide to create maybe for per year, and then we can decide to come and maybe look at let's remove the rows on, let's come and put the dates, the years, maybe on the column like that. And then on the rows, let's maybe we can decide to come and look at maybe per product, or let's say per product. We want to compare years versus products. So you just drag and drop whatever you need to look at. And then maybe you can come and check on the financials. We can check on the sales. Like that, the distribution of sales maybe per year, per, let's say, per year, we are looking at per product. And then we can drag the cost of goods. So like that, and then you can, so we have sales. Now I want to exchange the cost of goods to come below there. Then let's remove the years first. So we have the fact table. We need to look at sales. manufacturing cost. And then from the manufacturing cost, you can decide to look at something like cost of sales, because we want to look at maybe the entire financials, the way it works. And then finally, we can decide to look at the net profit. So as much as we have the grand totals as 3 million, but you can find that like this product here is giving us a lot of losses, and the last two. So that is how you can look at maybe your summary of your data, and even you can expound it to maybe years. You can decide to bring in the years so that you can see like the distribution in every year, how they have performed. So that is how you can look at it, and then maybe decide now to build your dashboards, and then build your different designs that are there in Excel. So I think that is as much as we can go today because of also time. So as much as the Power Pivot and Power Queries are concerned, I think we've already like finished on them, and I've at least touched on Power, the dashboards. And in case maybe you want to build you need to build your graphs, you can just come and build them in the normal way. Because now, once you are done, the most important thing is to make sure that you already have all those attachments with you, and always remember to save your work in case maybe you need to like so that you don't lose it in case maybe the data disappear or something like that, or you get disconnected in one way or another. So that is how you just work around and then build your dashboards. And from the dashboard, now you can present your work. Now from there, the format is just the same as the one that we use in Power BI when it comes to building dashboards and designs, and designing on the dashboard, and maybe creating the storytelling part of data. So I think that is how far I can go today, not unless maybe there's any question. I can maybe address them, and then we can call it a day. If there's none, if I'll give the mic back to you. And I think this is the end of the training on Excel, so that maybe people can try to look at it and try to understand what we've already gone through it. In case of any question, you can just ask and we'll be able to address it. If back to you. And thank you for joining the sessions and participating.